Before we begin, don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and drop your thoughts in the comments below, because after tonight's story, you'll realize evil doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it lives right down the street. The night of November 7th, 2025 started like any other in the quiet Grand Oak Mobile Home Park, tucked away in the outskirts of Escambia County, Florida. The air was still. A soft rain had fallen earlier, leaving the asphalt glistening under the flicker of aging streetlights. But just after 2:30 a.m., a scream shattered the silence. Within minutes, the entire neighborhood was awake, watching as flames swallowed a small blue and white trailer at the far end of Flaxman Street. Inside, two young brothers, 7-year-old Rayden and 9-year-old Vayden, were trapped. Their mother, Candace, had been working the night shift at a nearby diner, her phone lighting up with missed calls as firefighters battled a blaze that burned hotter than anything they'd seen that year. When the fire was finally out, what remained wasn't just charred wood and melted toys. It was a crime scene. Detective Marla Jensen, a 15-year veteran with the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, was the first to walk into the wreckage after the flames died. "This wasn't an accident," she muttered, pulling her flashlight over the scorched floor. Near the remains of the kitchen, she found something strange, a small trail of melted plastic leading toward the hallway. At first, it looked like debris, but when she leaned closer, she saw the blackened remnants of a gas can spout. Someone had poured accelerant. Someone had planned this. As dawn broke, the smell of smoke still clung to the trees. Neighbors huddled together, whispering about a man who had been seen earlier that night. Candace's boyfriend, a 27-year-old named John Walston. He wasn't from the area, moved in 6 months ago, kept mostly to himself, but people had heard things, shouting at odd hours, slammed doors, crying. By noon, the police found him. He was standing barefoot by a creek less than a mile away. Shirtless, covered in soot, muttering the same words over and over. "I didn't mean to. They were supposed to sleep." When officers tried to question him, he became erratic, talking about voices, guilt, and a plan gone wrong. They took him in, booking him for arson and homicide pending investigation. But as detectives began piecing the night together, something didn't add up. There were no signs of forced entry. The front door had been locked from the inside. And that's when the autopsy reports came in. The children hadn't died from smoke inhalation. They were already gone before the fire started. Detective Jensen dropped the file on her desk, her eyes narrowing. So he tried to cover it up. But the evidence told another story, one that didn't fit neatly into guilt or accident. In the ashes of the boys' room, the fire inspectors discovered something that made everyone stop cold. 2 sets of small footprints burned into the carpet and one larger set leading away from the bodies toward the back door. The door that was found bolted shut. It meant only one thing. Someone else had been in that house. And when the lab results returned from the soot-covered gas can, the fingerprints didn't belong to John Walston. They belonged to someone the family knew. The morning after the fire, Escambia County buzzed with rumors. News vans crowded the entrance of the mobile home park. Neighbors stood behind yellow tape clutching coffee cups, and detectives worked around the clock trying to understand how 2 innocent children ended up dead inside a locked house. Detective Marla Jensen hadn't slept. She sat in the cramped station office staring at photos spread across her desk. The gas can, the burnt toy truck, the small footprints in the hallway. Something about those prints kept her up. 2 small sets, side by side, and one adult size. But the direction was wrong. The adult prints didn't lead into the fire, they led away from it. The prints stopped abruptly at the back door, a door that was bolted from the inside. Her phone buzzed. It was forensics. "Detective, you might want to see this yourself," the tech said. Down in the lab, Jensen examined the partial prints recovered from the melted gas can. They didn't match John Walston. Instead, they matched someone familiar, a neighbor, 32-year-old Erica Miles. Erica lived 2 trailers away, a quiet woman, single mother of 1, known to babysit Rayden and Vayden when Candace worked nights. She'd even been one of the first on the scene, crying and screaming for help as the trailer burned. By noon, detectives brought her in for questioning. She sat trembling in the interrogation room, clutching a tissue, her blonde hair streaked with soot. "I swear I didn't kill those kids. I just tried to help." Detective Jensen leaned forward. "Then explain your fingerprints on the gas can." Erica's eyes widened. "What? No, that's impossible. I haven't been inside that house in weeks." She paused, shaking her head. "John asked me to lend him my gas can last weekend. He said his car wouldn't start."
It was a plausible story until the text confirmed that the can wasn't hers. It was purchased 2 days before the fire at a local hardware store. The receipt had a name on it: Candace Oram, the mother. Jensen felt her stomach twist. Why would a grieving mother buy a gas can days before the tragedy that took her own children's lives? Candace returned home from the diner after being cleared from her shift. She arrived at the station looking hollow, her hands shaking. "They're gone," she kept whispering. "My babies are gone." Jensen spoke gently. "Candace, we need to ask about something you bought last week. A red gas can from Dale's Hardware." The woman froze. Her eyes darted to the floor. I don't remember." But then something unexpected happened. A uniformed officer stepped in, holding a brown evidence envelope. "Detective, you'll want to see this. It was recovered from the creek near where Walston was found." Inside the bag was a half-burned phone. After hours of digital recovery, investigators managed to pull one video file. The footage was shaky, taken inside the trailer, dated the night before the fire. It showed Walston pacing in the kitchen, muttering to himself. Then a voice off camera, a woman's voice, said, "Just make sure they're asleep first." The audio was faint, but clear enough. Jensen froze as she replayed it again and again. It wasn't Erica Miles. It wasn't background noise. It was Candace Oram's voice, the mother of the 2 boys. By the time dawn broke over Escambia County again, the investigation had taken a turn no one expected. The grieving mother, the woman who'd wept over her children's ashes on live TV, was now the prime suspect in their deaths. Detective Marla Jensen sat in her office, the recovered phone looping that single haunting clip over and over. "Just make sure they're asleep first." The voice was unmistakable, calm, controlled, almost rehearsed. She called in Candace for another interview. This time, the tone was different. The tissues and sympathetic looks were gone. Candace sat across from her, hands folded tightly, jaw clenched. "Why would I ever hurt my own babies?" she whispered. "That's what we're trying to figure out, but your voice is on this video. You were there before the fire, Candace. You knew what was going to happen." For a long moment, silence filled the room, thick, suffocating. Then, Candace broke. "You don't understand what he did to us," she said, trembling. "John wasn't who you think he was." According to Candace, John Walston had been growing violent in recent months. He was jealous, paranoid, convinced she was seeing someone else. She claimed he'd threatened to take the boys away if she ever left him. She said we'd all burn together before he'd watch me walk out that door, her tears streaking down her face. But Jensen had heard it all before. Fear, control, excuses. Yet, something about Candace's story didn't sit right. If John had been that dangerous, why buy the gas can herself? Why the whisper caught on video?
Later that day, detectives searched Candace's locker at the diner where she worked. Inside, they found a small black notebook, pages filled with angry scribbles, financial notes, and at the back, a list titled, Plan. Step 1, make sure they're asleep. Step 2, start over. Step 3, he'll take the blame. The last line was underlined twice. When confronted, Candace refused to speak, but the evidence spoke louder than she ever could. Investigators discovered she had taken out 2 life insurance policies on her sons earlier that year, each worth $50,000. Combined, they would pay out to her alone. Jensen stared at her across the glass during booking. "You planned it," she said quietly. "You wanted out, and you used your children as your escape route." Candace didn't respond. She only looked up, her face blank. "You think you know what love does to people," she murmured. "But love is what started that fire." Walston, meanwhile, remained in custody, his mental state fractured, his story broken into fragments. In the end, forensic analysis confirmed it. He didn't set the blaze. He didn't kill the boys. But he was there. He'd helped cover it up, believing Candace's lies about an accident, too broken and confused to see the truth. When the trial came months later, the courtroom was packed. Jensen sat in the back as Candace Oram listened to the verdict, guilty on all counts. Her face barely moved, no tears, no regret, just silence. After the sentencing, Jensen visited the charred lot on Flaxman Street one last time. The trailer was gone now, replaced by a patch of grass and 2 small wooden crosses. She knelt down, brushing her hand over the burned soil. The smell of smoke was long gone, but the memory lingered. 2 innocent boys, one mother who chose destruction over help, and a man who mistook obsession for love. As she walked back to her car, Jensen looked once more at the empty sky above the trees. Some cases end in justice, others just in silence. This one, she knew, would haunt her forever. Because in the end, it wasn't the fire that destroyed them. It was the secret behind it. If you think this story was intense, wait until you hear the next one. Subscribe, because the darkest truths are always hiding in plain sight.